आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनकही कहानियाँ। आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनसुनी कहानियाँ।
Hello, listeners. You're listening to VKA-296 podcast program on STEM popularization, catalyzed and supported by the Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India, through its National Council for Science and Technology Communication and Media for Community Foundation. Project devised and designed by Dr. R. Sridhar and assisted by Ashish Tiwari. Local coordination and production, Professor Subramanian. Content writing by Professor Mansa Gowda and post-production by Professor Kaushik P. Kanchan of Garden City University, Bengaluru.
Garden City University, conquer we shall all adversity. GCU, emphasis on life. GCU, emphasis on life.
In the last episode, Dr. ProfBIVAS spoke about the current state of research and developments that might take place in the near future. And in today's episode, he talked about how he's collaborated with industry professionals to manufacture products, and he's also spoke about his future plans of a startup.
This is Charvi, your narrator for the podcast.
We haven't really gone to make a startup yet. We have, instead what we have done is that we have partnered with industry and try to develop our product as an industrial research collaboration. Now, startup is certainly on the cards. Maybe in another year or so, we'll be in a better position to make that determination. I mean, one thing, as far as we are concerned, we need to see is that at the end of the day, we are still in a university setup. Our fundamental mandate is to do research and development at the cutting edge. And being a young associate professor also, I need to first make sure that that part is protected before I jump into the more sort of a startup and business side, which we'll do it. We'll do it, but maybe another few years after that.
Dr. ProfBIVAS then took us through his journey and spoke about some unforgettable memories he's made along the way.
There are many unforgettable moments. So each day in a faculty's life is goes through a multiple phase. So every day I have to write proposals for the new and advanced thing that we are going to do. I have to write paper that we already have done. I have to supervise students who are working on something at that particular moment, and I also have to give presentation on something that we have done over the last 1 or 2 years. So you go through this journey every day from last 2 years to next 2 years. So for 5 years of your life you see as in a faculty life, and at the same time you teach. So you are always interacting with students, which is always a very profound and impactful thing in academia. In my own personal journey, there are several occasions where those were unforgettable. When I was a student at the Purdue University, I get to see Neil Armstrong once because he was a Purdue University alumni. So that was really amazing because from childhood days we heard about who's Neil Armstrong is, and he's like he's the first person who landed in the moon. And the department where I used to work on is named after Neil Armstrong Hall of Engineering. So that was a hugely motivational. At the same time, when I was at Berkeley campus has so many Nobel laureates, and you are around Nobel laureates, so you feel so happy. So these are the moments that you cherish. In India also, as I said, maybe we don't see that. There are a lot of scientific giants who have done so many important things in our country. In my own field, in a materials in heterostructure research, J.C. Bosch's earlier research is still the first few lines in semiconductor textbooks. So you come across all these inspirations, you come across all these life experiences, and that do shape you to take up new and challenging research.
Dr. Vibhas Shaha then explained about how a few things changes to the curriculum and educational standards can help with research scholars to transform theory into reality.
Yeah, it's a very good question, and I wish there was just one answer to it. But I feel there are broad answer, and there are multiple things we need to do. In my opinion, the best way to address this issue by creating a very strong industrial manufacturing base in our country. Unless there are companies, Indian companies or global companies, maybe they set up their factories in India, build things, and when they build things, they require those technical skills. And those technical skills then create an own demand for skilled and trained workforce. We are not going to progress too much in this. So I think it's very important that we start with this vertical line, that our industrial base we should focus on our industrial base, should have many more hardware, cell phone manufacturing company, chip manufacturing company, optical component device manufacturing companies, and that will also cater to this lot of PhD students or master students or other technical university students who are graduating, which creates job for them, and that creates a very feedback loop. If you look at in the last 100 years, two countries which has progressed, US and the China, they did exactly that. China recently, they basically are the world's factory, because they create everything, and when you create everything, you naturally, if you have to keep pace with the progressing world, you really have to every day update your technology. So that really creates a pressure to the university also to move their curriculum in a way that caters to the industrial world, and that helps academia also, because many developments in the academia have also happened because people try to find some practical solution, and that really pushed people to develop new scientific concepts, new technology, and so on and so forth. We cannot just work in a scientific mind based silos. I think at least in my domain, I really feel industry, academia coming together and moving together will be the right kind of solution.
He then continued on to explain about the future of his research and what are its target application in our society.
That's what we are doing. So we are now doing this large scale field testing, basically. So we are working with one Indian company and two outside Indian companies. They are construction based companies, and we are painting it in basically people's walls, in their rooftops. And with an Indian company, we are trying to take this in a social innovation sector also. So that's the immediate goal of this particular project, is to commercialize it, check the long-term stability and the commercialize this paint. Of course, this is one of the things that I'm doing more practical side. In a more fundamental side, that is basically to make new and advanced devices which give more energy efficient electronics, which give more and advanced optical devices and newer device technologies. So broadly, this is basically the goal that we are working on.
This is Charvi, your narrator for the podcast. You were listening to Vigyan Ki Awaaz, a podcast on STEM popularization catalyzed and supported by National Council for Science and Technology Communication, Government of India. Tune in for more such episodes to Vigyan Ki Awaaz on this platform and also through Spotify, YouTube and Apple Music platforms. Vigyan Ki Awaaz.
आइए हम सुने विज्ञान की अनकही